Obviously, this country has come to an inflection point. Things have gone too fucking far. And I don't know if we've gotten to the point where there is no turning back or something like that, but the assassination of Charlie Kirk is absolutely fucking horrible. But I didn't know really what to say, but the missus just showed me a post by a guy who sums it up perfectly. Now, these are not my words, but they are certainly my sentiments. Stick with me on this one. I would like to say that you don't have to like Charlie Kirk. Hell, I can't say I agree with many of his positions, and likely portrayed him in too simple of a manner. I did not, nor I do expect any of you to celebrate his life. But posting memes in quotes mocking and ridiculing him right after he was shot in front of his wife and children and before his body could even have cooled is a shitty thing to do. Hence, me calling those who did it pieces of shit. I fully endorse that. I agree with that 1,000,000%. I stand by that. Although I could have and possibly should have made my position a bit more clear. I am not a religious person. I mean, I have a little bit more religion than he does, but that's a story for another day. But I see the benefit in both being religious and living a conservative lifestyle. In addition, I have too many friends that I have watched be attacked for the last near decade, and simply because they're not going with the current trending zeologist or whatever.
Zeitgeist.
Zeitgeist shit. I don't know what the fuck that is, but it's everything else is perfect. I don't know. It just makes too much sense. This is just something, and I've been for the last day thinking about the video that I was going to do. I just didn't know how to phrase it, but you know, sometimes you just hear something, read something, and it just makes absolute sense. I'll continue. I have been pro-gay marriage since the 90s. Well before it was either trendy or cool for anyone, much less a young man to be. And about 15 years before it was the official Democratic Party policy. You don't get to call me a bigot because I push back on most radical elements of a radical social agenda. You don't get to call me transphobic because I see a huge problem with giving children puberty blockers, the same type of drugs that were used in the 70s that were given to gay men to cure them of their homosexuality. Seriously. You don't get to tell me that I'm a transphobic because my 25 years of training experience in common sense allows me to understand how completely asinine it is to allow biological men to compete in women's sports. You don't get to call my conservative friends bigots because they believe a household with a mother and a father is the best way to raise a child. I mean, this has to be explained. Seriously, this has to be explained. I mean, fucking A. It's everywhere. It's fucking cancer. You don't get to call everyone with European ancestry that votes conservative a fascist or a Nazi. Fucked up. I think it's time for the left as a whole to do some real soul searching into the radical elements that have been pushing the agenda for nearly the past decade. Because the many things I have seen from the left in that time, self-reflection is not one of them. Bernie Sanders would have destroyed Donald Trump in 2016. Yet, the party rigged the primary for Hillary Clinton. This is something we know to be true. The DNC fucked Bernie, and because it was fucking Hillary's turn. Nearly everything that got conservative nearly everything that got conservative deplatformed during the Biden administration turned out to be completely true. Perhaps reining in the men can have babies crowd in a let's have drag shows at libraries for elementary school students should be done rather quickly. Perhaps pretending that 2025 is 1965 is a bit fucking much. Guys, realize this. If you're losing me, you're on the cusp of losing everybody. You're going to find yourself in a position having to call 70% of the population, including an increasing number of blacks and Latinos, leaving your party for the Republican Nazis as well. Seriously, think about it. Where are the problems coming from? Just because you cry the loudest doesn't mean that you make the most sense. Most of the time, people that are crying are fucking immature little fucking dicks that just want their way just to have their fucking way. Alright? And regardless of that, bitch and moan all you want. You know, it's just because you cry real loud doesn't mean you're fucking right. You know, think about this shit. Violence is not the answer. Cheering and fucking supporting an assassination? Seriously. If you think that this is okay, then you're okay with the murder and fucking assassination of Martin Luther King, a great American. I'm lost. You're losing me. I don't get any of this shit. How can you support one thing without supporting something else? Just because somebody doesn't like something, a simple phrase that I've used a million times and I stick to it to this day. Not everybody likes vanilla ice cream. That's why they make 30 wonderful flavors. Grow the fuck up, get the fuck over it, and take your fucking head out of your ass. Bunch of fucking retards.